Let's go. Boat first, questions later.
Malady grabs the vessel with 2 hands and pushes it into the water.
God-woken. Wait till she finds out.
Salty water mists your face. Your skin prickles in bright, warm sunlight. The boat bobs forward through the water, and Fort Joy...
Tired but victorious, the party made for the Lady Vengeance. The horrors of Fort Joy behind them. They arrived as sorcerers. They left as God-woken. The fate of this God-forsaken world now rested on their shoulders. Or at least, on the shoulders of one of them.
A light sea breeze kisses your cheek and carries away the smell of blood wafting up from the deck. In the distance, Fort Joy looms.
Don't stand between a prince and his principles. The Magisters learned that the hard way.
A hard-fought freedom, sure. But if spilling blood is bad, it shouldn't be so agreeable.
I've no sympathy for those who die in the line of duty, especially as odious a duty as those dead Magisters held. Onward now. The sooner Fort Joy disappears from the horizon, the better. Perhaps...
Don't go any further, God-woken. We need you alive. The ship won't sail. We had orders to search every corner of it and figure out what's blocking us. It's hewn from elven livewood. I thought I could communicate with it, but...
She glances over towards a smouldering pile of ash on the deck nearby. Something isn't...
That was Brendan. When the ship wouldn't answer my call, he touched the figurehead, and it attacked him, without warning. He burned, like he was made of parchment. Nothing. The ship is livewood, that much is clear. But I couldn't communicate with it. The Magisters must have done something, warped it somehow. I just don't know what.
Her eyes flick over to the smouldering ashes once again. Her head...
Thank you. We were held captive together, on this ship. He kept my spirits up. Now he's dead. Just remember what I said, God-woken. If you die, then this was all for nothing. Pray to you for my seeker brethren. Show us the path to salvation. There must be some...
Spare me, Gareth. We got what we came for. This is what success looks like.
I won't see them tossed overboard. Not here. We'll hold a proper service.
What's-his-face and so-and-so would want us to get this ship sailing before all else. They died for those God-woken, after all.
You know their names, Malady. Can't you even pay them that much respect?
Gareth inhales sharply, then catches you out of the corner of his eye and smiles, barely.
Our guest stirs. Welcome, God-woken. Glad to see you safely aboard.
Very glad indeed.
Too many.
One too few, actually. Alexander, he's alive. Apparently didn't hit hard enough.
He's in the hold below decks. Unconscious, but alive. Question him. Someone has been hunting your kind, and Alexander fancies himself the only Godwoken worthy of ascending. As far as we know, you may even be the last still alive. If Alexander is guilty, he'll face justice. Yes, we certainly had better, but the ship won't move.
She's mute. We need to free her tongue.
You're welcome to try, though I doubt it'll help.
What Gareth means to say is don't bother. Livewood will only move when it wants to, or in this tub's case, when it's forced to. That's right. The ship's made of an elven ancestor tree, the spirit of which is still trapped in every plank. What we need is a way to control the bloody thing.
The Seekers, the survivors of us, have been combing the ship from bow to rudder. It hasn't been easy. This place is laced with dark magic.
These Seekers have such a limited skill set.
We lost a man in the search. Malady might not appreciate that, but I do. And I hope you do too.
I'm sure the Godwoken will be able to get the ship moving. They kind of like to feel useful, don't they? Hopefully, you'll never have to find out.
Ah, there you are. High time to stop gallivanting and resume our journey together, wouldn't you say? Off we go, then.
Void Slayer, Worm Killer, Godwoken. You have many names. Let's add ship's captain to the list once we get this thing moving, shall we? She's not exactly a seeker. She's not exactly an elf either. Half demon, Meister Siva says, and I don't doubt it. I don't know how Siva came to know her, but Malady's a proper ally. She's not easy to like, but there are times I admire her coldness.
Gareth fingers the hilt of his blade. He stares at nothing in particular before turning his gaze back to you.
Driftwood, of course. Little fishing village. Not very welcoming, but you'll brighten it up, I'm sure. Got family near there. Not the adventuring types. For the Meister Siva's there too. My leader. Our leader. She held the Seekers together when we had every reason to fall apart. Think of her as a teacher. The powers of the Seven stir in you. She'll reveal them to you. Show you how to manipulate them. I won't let the fallen be forgotten. I'd be no better than Dallas, no better than Alexander, if I just tossed their remains into the sea. To think that whelp spawned from greatness. He deserves no better fate than his silent monks. All this blood. Children ripped from families. He's down there now, guarded like some precious jewel, rather than leashed and flogged like the dog he is. Amazing to think those of us in the Order once assumed the gods were with him, and only him. The Seekers were once part of the Order, my friend. When Lucian died, we waited. Yet Alexander never rose to divinity. And then we started to find more like him. More Godwoken. And we weren't the only ones looking. A killer had marked them too. The Seekers were born. We found Godwoken, housed them, fed them. I loved them like family. I was naive. But let's leave the past in the past and reach for what's ahead. Keep Lucian close, Godwoken.
Losa, good, you made it. This would have been all for nothing if we didn't come away with a Godwoken. Now we just have to get this damn ship moving.
I was just getting used to this seafaring life. You know, we could... From the look in your eye, I gather it's time to grab my things and get back to work.
The silent monk leans forward slightly and stares at you straight in the eyes. The silent monk leans forward.
Where would I hide something important if I was a magister? What am I looking for? Will I know it when I see it? Where would I hide something important if I was a magister?
night's sleep.
The burly dwarf is distracted by his own facial...
2 heads are better than 1, Papa used to say, and he had 3, so he'd know, eh? How do, partner? Right now, though, the biggest thing on my mind is some candy arse called Lohar, lurking in Driftwood. The Queen is up to something nasty, and he's the best chance I've got of finding out what's what. Anyhow, we're a team now, so the me is not half as important as the us. Let's get down to brass tacks. Fighting, I mean. I've been up and down the realm so often it'd make your cabbage spin, and I've picked up a few tricks along the way. Truth be told, I've grown fond of crushing and casting. A battle mage, then it's settled. Capital. Well, that's that sorted. Onward then.
Oh, please don't stare. Oh, well.
He pulls out a note.
There's something to these doors I'm not seeing. But what?
The door seems like any door, at least at first. Then you notice it's unblemished wood. There is no knot, no scratch, no dent to detract from its apparent perfection. The wood groans and creaks. A face appears in the wood, tortured and tormented. A 6-sided indentation is carved on its forehead, as if a gem or amulet had made a mark there. The face vanishes. The thud of your fist upon the wood resonates deeper than you'd expected it to. It turns into what sounds like... The door is still unmarked, though the anguished face appears.
I've spotted something.
I've got sword fighters, mages, archers, all willing to fight by your side if the price is right.
The Seeker flexes her arms stiffly. Her joints audibly pop. She sees you...
I owe you, Godwoken. Without your help, I'd likely still be a prisoner around here, not guarding Alexander the Bloody Divine himself.
She nods her thanks and immediately winces, laying her hand on the back of her neck.
I wish. No, the Magisters kept me chained to the bulkhead. Arms held above me head, feet barely able to touch the deck. Now my joints are paying the price. No, they had us down below, chained up in the dark. But the Reds were up to something in here. Maybe it was just the lack of food and rest playing tricks, but I swear I heard chanting and horrible moaning coming from here. But when we broke free, it was empty. Or a big bloody target on our backs. We took their leader and their flagship. The Hammer won't stand for that. She'll be hunting for us.
The Seeker throws a toxic look at the imprisoned Magister.
Hardly. She's just some deckhand. If it were up to me, I'd tie her to the main mast and use her for arrow practice. But Malady wants her alive for now. Good luck getting anything out of either of them. Our special guest is out cold. And the other one ain't in much of a talking mood. All right then, just... don't make me regret it. I'll keep an eye on the red until the cage is locked again.
A young Magister paces around the brig, fussing over Alexander's unconscious form. She leans over and applies a damp cloth to his brow. She notices you observing her. She straightens her back and sets her jaw in a defiant scowl.
Magister Ranley, Corker's mate of the Divine Eminence vessel, Lady Vengeance. That's all the information I'm giving to any of you lot, so stow your questions. Magister Ranley, Corker's mate of the...
The Magister falls silent, but stares at you with unwavering defiance. The Magister's stare hardens.
Magister Ranley, Corker's... Get away from him, sorcerer. That's the Divine. All right. Don't harm him. I'll be watching.
Bishop Alexander lies supine on a bare wire cot. Though unconscious, his eyes are only half closed. His swollen jaw hangs open at an odd angle. Bruises swell beneath his eyes, and a shallow gash zigzags from his right ear down to his beardless cheek. Unconscious, he looks more boy than bishop. Someone has wiped the bishop's hands clean and folded them neatly over his abdomen. They rise and fall in shallow, jagged swells. A beautiful six-sided gem rests on the bishop's chest, hung round his neck by an ordinary oiled rope. The gem sits heavily in your pouch.
Magister Ranley, Corker's...
Being behind bars suits you, murdering scum.
Magister Ranley, Corker's mate of the Divine Eminence vessel, Lady Vengeance.
Can't you say anything else? Bloody Magisters.
Speak to me if you're looking for hired help. I've got good fighters of every stripe. They know how to... So, what'll it be?
Aw, there's my corrupted darling. I was just thinking of you, dying to hear them. Meister Siva is one of a rare breed. She'd do anything in the name of a cause, and her cause happens to be you. She's desperate to meet a living Godwoken. She'll be exceedingly pleased we're en route. We'd better not leave her waiting. She's a bit particular. She's the founder of these Seekers, and she's powerful. That means something when I say it. Your kind can reach astounding heights, Meister Siva can help you do just that. A place called Driftwood hosts a putrid fish, putrid dwarves, and Meister Siva herself. You'll probably find it quite comfortable.
Getting it done, come hell or high water. Likely both, eh?
May the fallen rest easy in the Hall of Echoes.
Gareth pauses, then shakes his head.
A mistake was made. That's all I have. Keep Lucian close, Godwoken.
Hear my prayer. Show us the way forward. Deliver us from peril. Sendelius, pray to you for my seeker brethren. Show us the path to salvation.
Before you is a towering figurehead carved in the likeness of a dragon. It looms over the bow, its fangs bared at the open sea. There's an odd mark on the side of the figurehead. Battle damage? Weather staining. It almost looks like a pattern helmet. Searing pain races up your arm. The ship senses you. It's angry. The pain intensifies. It's spreading past your arm, across your chest. Your lungs feel like they're on fire.
Pray to you for my seeker brethren. Show us the path to salvation. Pray to you for my seeker brethren. Show us the path to salvation. Blessings to our fallen. Pray that they may find rest. Blessings to our fallen. Pray that they may find rest. Sendelius, hear my prayer. Show us the way forward. Deliver us from peril. Pray to you for my seeker brethren. Show us the path to salvation. Blessings to our fallen. Pray that they may find rest.
You made it, Godwoken. Good. Not all of us did, though. The sooner we leave this island behind us, the better.
Magister Ranley, Corker's mate.
The Seeker has removed one of her gaunt...
You must be starved for company to linger around here, friend. All right then, just... don't make me regret. Hope you find something useful.
The door is still unmarked, though the memory of the face and its six-sided notch remain. The anguished face appears once more. It dips its forehead towards you and waits. A shudder of pleasure racks the figure in the door. It seems to breathe. All of a sudden, all anguish is gone. It gives you the sternest of looks.
I am summoned. Speak the password. You've summoned me with the gem, indeed. Now, the password. No. The human mind is... This is the stateroom. Authorized personages own. You waste.
We've braved the joy, and I lust for further adventure. What say you?
You're not quite certain you'll ever sleep soundly with Sabine in any sort of proximity.
Enough!
Bishop Alexander lies supine on a bare wire cot. Though unconscious, his eyes are only half...
Something useful.
Wish I had half a clue what I was looking for. All that fighting will be worth less than nothing.
Melody says if we can get the ship to move, we can go home. Home!
Nothing. Empty as Dallas's heart. Wish I had half a clue. Still found nothing. Whatever I'm looking for, I'm not finding it. Wish I had half a clue what I was looking for. Not a thing but spiders and disappointment. Wish I had half a clue what I was looking for.
This is the state. Yes, and yes again. The word is spoken. Welcome to the stateroom.
Just one more moment, please.
He clicks together two halves of some type of gauntlet sitting in his lap and turns his full attention to you.
And there. Rescued at last, am I? To whom do I owe my thanks? Armor? Such a limiting word, but yes, it serves that purpose, amongst others. Dallas has been keeping me prisoner here, but I try to keep working on my own projects when I can. Dallas took a particular interest in me and my skills. I'm an expert in healing, crafting, and more arcane practices. She kept me here to do her bidding, until you took her flagship from right under her nose, it seems. Oh, yes. And she could be a most cruel mistress, I'm sad to report.
He extends his arm and pushes up the sleeve. Beneath, the skin is withered and discolored, as if it were magically decayed.
She used some form of domination device on me, forcing my hands to do her bidding, and I've ruined them in the process. Well, the situation is looking immeasurably better now. You'll hear no more complaints from me. So why don't you tell me all about my valiant rescues? To whom do I owe my thanks? Ah, I do like music. I created a never-ending music box for a lizard viceroy once. In fact, I do believe the box has outlived the lizard. Ancient Empire politics are so cutthroat. I must hear you perform at some point. But for now, I ought to carry on with what I'm doing here. Unless there was something else? Took it? No, I made it. Have you seen the kind of metalwork the Magisters deploy? This is in a different class to them. As I said, the Magisters left me weakened. But this will help give me the strength to carry on my work. Oh, cast spells, tinker with relics, meddle with the laws of nature. All the sorts of things power-hungry despots love to do. She had me enchant a dead cat over there, so it would seem alive.
He clicks the gauntlet into place around his withered forearm, his eyes on you the whole time.
But that damn contraption that she used on me seems to have fogged my memory. The rest is a blur. No! Necromancy is an unsavory practice, not something to be trifled with lightly. This is but a cunning illusion of my own creation, nothing more.
His face abruptly creases into a smile.
But come now. Enough of Dallas and dead cats. You've taken this ship and granted my freedom. This is a happy moment. I'm afraid I cannot tell you what I do not remember. Could you pass me that copper wire just there?
He takes the copper with a nod of gratitude. His sleeve slips back above his elbow. In its crook, you see part of a tattoo. A pattern of concentric circles rendered in black.
Perhaps my memory will come back with time. But for now, I'm afraid there's little more I can add. Dallas didn't tell me anything if she could avoid it. But I did overhear her practicing an ancient lizard dialect. Significant, perhaps, don't you think? Lizards apparently have ancient magic that allows them to control slaves that bear their mark by singing a song. Dallas must have had an interest in those techniques. Despite what she did to me, I can't help but admire the woman a little. She's unwavering. She will break before she bends. If you cross paths with her, be sure to break her. I doubt you will get another chance. I'm doing my utmost to be civil to you, under rather trying circumstances. Why must you push me like this? I'm more than a sum of my parts, friend, indeed. But I fear you might have come to the wrong calculation about me. How about you just let this matter rest?
If this one was enslaved by Dallas, then he could still be under her thrall. We can't risk keeping him around.
I'm not perfect myself. It isn't for me to judge this one.
Anyone who faced enslavement deserves our sympathy, not our blades. Leave him.
He takes your hand in his gauntlet-clad fist and shakes it. There's a lot more power in his grip than his slender frame would suggest.
Call me Tarquin, and consider me at your service. We're barely acquainted. Why should I tell you anything personal?
A flicker of hesitation crosses Tarquin's face. He glances down to his wasted limbs.
You're most persistent. Perhaps our past will pit us both against the hammer. We will see. But don't claim me as an ally just yet. My allies tend to die. There's likely not a soul aboard this ship without secrets they'd rather keep hidden. Why should I face more scrutiny than the rest?
He proffers out his hands with a diplomatic smile.
You do me a disservice. These are the hands of a craftsman.
I've spotted something.